I think I've seen this, yeah.
Yeah, we are connected on Facebook.
Okay. Let's start. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, glory to Srila Prabhupada. So we are back with our monthly session discussing topics from the spiritual realm, Krishna consciousness. Today we have our guest again, His Grace Prema Rāsa Dāsa Prabhu, who is from the city of Mumbai and is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Pratik or Prema Rāsa Dāsa Prabhu is a businessman and who has been practicing Krishna consciousness for over a decade, a very scholarly devotee who regularly reads Srila Prabhupada's books and those by other Gauriya Vaishnava Acharyas, translated by ISKCON devotees. So he has also written a book that is meant to clear some of the misconceptions that generally people have about spirituality, specifically about the bhakti, the path of bhakti, which will be out very soon. So we are all eagerly waiting for the first copies to become available. I'm not going to reveal the name right now, unless Prabhuji wants me to. But he has rendered incredible services to Srila Prabhupada's movement. And over years, year over year, he has been among the top 3 Srimad Bhagavatam distributors in the world, which is a massive achievement. He conducts online classes, just as the one that we have been attending over maybe like 2 years now, or maybe more than that. And his idea is to help people systematically cultivate Krishna consciousness. So Prabhuji is very, very kind to be available for enlightening us. And today he's going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is some pastimes, some lessons from the Lila of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, which is called Gaur Lila. So there is a particular episode that he will be using as a starting point, I believe, Prabhuji. You can correct me if I am wrong, which is the interaction between Minaketana Ramdas and Gunarnava Misra, and we'll find out details about that very soon. So with that, I will let Prabhuji Prema Rasa Prabhu take this forward. So over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyan Dibinandasya Yananjala Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you so much, Haritra, once again for inviting me to give this special series on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. So many lessons to be learned from Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And thank you all the viewers also to join. So yeah, so today's we started with Gaur Lila, because Gaur Lila is actually the gateway to Krishna Lila. And in Gaur Lila, we know that Nityananda Prabhu is gateway to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I wanted to start something with something to do with Nityananda Prabhu's pastimes. And obviously, it's not directly connected to Nityananda Prabhu, but Minaketana Ramdas is one of the most intimate servant of Lord Nityananda and very dear to Lord Nityananda. So because Nityananda Tradashi just passed, so I thought that let me start with the glories of devotees first, and then we can also discuss lessons from the pastimes of Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. So there are so many wonderful pastimes, and more than that is actually the lessons to be learned from all these pastimes. So thousands of pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we can learn so many lessons from that. So this particular, I'm starting with like a sequence, because the Adi Lila, this particular episode takes place. I mean, this is how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Adi Lila, the glories of Nityanand Prabhu. In that particular chapter, he is describing this pastime. So I think that because of the sequence, we'll start with the pastime of Minaketana Ramdas, and it also teaches us many different aspects to this story. Okay, so this Minaketana Ramdas, he was actually a very devoted servant of Lord Nityananda, very ecstatic servant of Lord Nityananda. He was always in the ecstasy of love of God. And one time, so the author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's mentioning this pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself is also blessed. He has the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So all devotees who have got the mercy of Nityananda, they are actually very close and dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this we can see throughout Gaur Lila. So Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is must. Nitai Vinay Pai, Radha Krishna Pai Tenai. So without the mercy of Nityananda, one cannot approach Radha and Krishna. The goal, if the goal of a devotee is to approach Lord Chaitanya and Radha and Krishna, then Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is essential. Without that, it is not possible to attain them, especially in Kali Yuga. So Minaketana Ramdas, he was a very devoted servant of Lord Nityananda, and he was always in ecstasy. And obviously, we know that there are so many associates of Nityananda Prabhu who are always in ecstasy. So many pastimes where Nityananda Prabhu is empowering his associates and servants, and they are performing miraculous, wonderful feats. So all these pastimes we'll also discuss later on. But Nityananda Prabhu is investing a lot of potency in his associates, and especially for preaching purpose. So Minaketana Ramdas, one time he was invited by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, because in his house there is always festival going on. So he is conducting 24-hour Sankirtan in his house. And there was like a 24-hour Sankirtan going on in his house, and then he invited Minaketana Ramdas to attend. So Minaketana Ramdas very happily and very ecstatically went to the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he was in such an ecstasy that whoever he met, he sometimes used to slap one person, sometimes he used to climb on the shoulder of a person, sometimes he used to pay obeisances to another devotee, and then sometimes he also stuck his foot on the body of a devotee, on the head of a devotee. So, I mean, all in the ecstasy of his love for God, love for Krishna. And it is mentioned that whichever devotee got his mercy, they all became mad ecstatically. They all attained Krishna. They all attained love of Krishna. So he was very powerful personality, very potent. And it is also mentioned that just by looking at the eyes of Minaketana Ramdas, tears would automatically start flowing from devotees' eyes. Seeing the ecstatic symptoms in Minaketana Ramdas, automatically tears were flowing from the eyes of the devotees. That was the power of Minaketana Ramdas. So now one time, in the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he had an elder brother, and his name was Gunarnava Misra. Elder or younger, I don't remember, but Gunarnava Misra was brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And when Minaketana Ramdas entered the house, so all the other devotees, all the people who were present in the assembly, they all stood up and they greeted Minaketana Ramdas. They also paid him obeisances, considering him as an empowered servant of Lord Nityananda. So basically, when you offer obeisances to a devotee, you are not just offering obeisances to the devotee, but you are also respecting and honoring the Lord, because the devotee is actually carrying the Lord in the heart. So when you are paying obeisances to someone, it's not necessary that you are paying to the person, because you can also pay obeisances to the Lord who is there in the heart of that person. So this is the idea. And that way, in one sense, Minaketana Ramdas was not different from Lord Nityananda, because he carried the empowerment of Lord Nityananda. He was extremely dear to Lord Nityananda. So Gunarnava Misra, he was serving the deity that time. Okay. And it's an etiquette. Whenever you are serving the deities, especially when you are serving the deities, it's not necessary you have to bow down to someone or you have to show respect to someone by ignoring the deity worship. So you don't really have to do that kind of thing. You don't have to follow any kind of custom and traditions when you are worshiping the deity. But in certain cases, you have to follow certain things, certain etiquettes. So there are higher etiquettes and there are lower etiquettes in terms of its principle, in terms of its results. And so what happened is, so Gunarnava Misra, he was serving the deity, and that's why he didn't pay respect and obeisances to Minaketana Ramdas. So now, Minaketana Ramdas was actually lying, he was sitting in the courtyard of the house of Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, and he saw that how Gunarnava Mishra was kind of ignoring him. So he got very angry, and then he commented, he just passed a comment saying that here is another Roma Arshana Sutta. So now who is Roma Arshana Sutta? He is actually the disciple of Vyasdev. If you remember in Krishna Lila, in Krishna's pastime, and we'll be discussing now, see how Gaur Lila is intertwined with Krishna Lila also. We will also go to the pastime where Romarshan Sutta, who is actually the son of the father of Sutta Goswami, the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's the disciple of Ved Vyas. So how he actually offends Lord Balram. So basically what Minaketana Ramdas did, he actually reminded the devotees of how a similar incident happened in Krishna Lila, and where a devotee ignorantly, in ignorance, he actually disrespected Lord Balram. He did not pay obeisances to Balram, and he did not greet and did not pay respect to Balram. So this is a pastime in Krishna Lila. Now, one time in the forest of Naimisharanya, there was an assembly of sages. They wanted to perform some sacrifice. So all the sages together, they selected Romarshana Sutta, okay, and who is actually the father of Sutta Goswami. And he was selected because he was extremely knowledgeable, very scholarly personality. He was the disciple of Vyasdev. So considering that all the sages, they had bestowed blessings on Romarshana Sutta. And because of that, he was sitting on a Vyasasan. He was, because they all wanted to hear from him. So they thought that he is the most qualified to speak, and that's why they offered him the Vyasasan to speak. Now, what happened is, suddenly in the assembly, Lord Balram entered. Actually, Balramji was traveling. He was on the pilgrimage to holy places, and all of a sudden he arrived there. And when Balramji entered the assembly, all the sages who were present there, they all stood up. They all started bowing down before Balram, because they know that Balram is actually the supreme personality of Godhead. He's not different from Krishna in terms of tattva, in terms of his identity. He's actually the Ishvara. So all of them, they greeted Lord Balram, they paid obeisances, paid respect to the Lord. But Romarshan Sutta did not bother to pay obeisances to Balram, and neither did he stand up in the assembly. So so he didn't get up or he didn't bow down, since he thought that he himself is actually greater than Balram. Okay. Now, ideally, in similar circumstances, because we're talking about when you are worshipping the deity, you're not supposed to bow down to anyone who is going to come in the assembly of devotees. And similarly here also, when you are sitting on Vyasasan and you are speaking on the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's not necessary that you have to greet someone. Okay. But there are exceptions to certain principles, and those exceptions should be followed. It should be, certain lower principles should be transgressed in order to follow higher principle. And the higher principle is that when a great personality like Lord Balram or his representative, they enter the assembly, then you have to put aside the lower principles, and you have to do the needful. So here also what happened is, now the thing is that Romarshana Sutta, as I already shared, that he thought that he is greater than Balram. Maybe for the time being, he felt that because so many sages, they blessed him and they gave so much respect to him, So for the timing, he felt that he is actually greater than Balram. Now, Balram understood because he is a supreme personality of Godhead. So Balram easily could make out that this person is no longer qualified actually to sit on Vyasa's son. And he immediately, Lord Balram, he actually considered his caste. He started thinking about his caste. Okay. So, Romarshana Sutta was born in a Sutta family, and he had a Brahmana mother and a Kshatriya father. So, basically, from a Pratiloma family. Uh, so, Pratiloma family is the family where you have the mother as Brahmana and the father as Kshatriya. So, ideally, the best type of marriage is when a Brahmana husband is marrying a lower caste wife, which is basically the Kshatriya caste. Okay. Um, so Anuloma, Pratiloma, and then different types of depending on the combinations of the father and the mother in what caste they belong to. We have different categories of marriages. So Anuloma marriage is one in which you have the Brahmana father and you have the Kshatriya mother. But here Balram immediately he actually recollected the caste of Sud Goswami. Now, see, is a very important lesson for us also as devotees. Generally, devotees they will never discuss or they will never blaspheme a devotee just because he is from a lower caste or he has got some disease. He's afflicted by some disease. So in the Hari Bhakti Vilas also, Sanatana Goswami states that a devotee should not be judged on external features. Then the deity should be worshipped from a distance, and there are other things also that we should avoid in order to avoid offenses to the devotees. So here, Balram remembered the caste of Romarshana Sutta because he acted like that. He acted like he is from a lower caste. So basically, who is a Brahmana? A Brahmana is a Brahmana is a higher caste category. It's a higher category, and obviously, it is attained by qualifications. It is not that one can become Brahmana just like that, or just because one is born in the family of Brahmana, one can become Brahmana like that. So it is not like that. So Brahmana qualification he had attained because of the blessings of all the sages who were present there. So they thought that he's qualified because he's actually the disciple of Vyasadeva. Okay, and he's very knowledgeable. He's very scholarly personality. So that's why Balram immediately recollected the lower caste of Romarshan Sutta. So ideally, it should not be remembered. So a devotee does not remember the lower caste of a devotee. That's an offense. But when the devotee misuses the blessings that he has got, is received from elders or senior devotees, then Lord Balram is teaching us then it's going to be the outcome of that is devotees or any person will naturally think of the caste of that person or the devotee, because he has lost the qualification for the time being and he has degraded to a lower caste or to his original caste. So so even though Romarshan Sutta considered Lord Balram a Kshatriya, he shouldn't have remained in higher sitting place. This is another etiquette. See, the thing is that even if he thought that I have attained this particular qualification and Balram is from a Kshatriya background and he thought himself greater than Balram, but still he did not have the right to sit on a higher position or a higher platform because the sages that were present in the assembly, they were much greater in qualifications compared to Romarshan Sutta. So there were many sages who were Brahmanas. So by that also, he shouldn't have accepted a higher sitting place since there were many elevated sages and Brahmanas. Now, see, it is very interesting. Another wonderful lesson that we can learn from this is that, generally we are all seeking for the blessings and mercy of devotees. Like we want blessings of devotees so we can advance in our Krishna consciousness or in our spiritual life. But here you see, in spite of even after receiving the blessings of all the great sages and devotees, Romarshana Sutta has still fallen down. So what is the lesson to be learned here? The lesson is that you may receive blessings from thousands of devotees, But if you inhibit pride, or if you think yourself superior to others, then immediately you will fall down. So one thing we have to always remember, that even though we receive blessings from senior devotees and we do wonderful services or do anything which is great, we should never think that we are superior to others. Otherwise, immediately the Lord will withdraw the blessings, the results of the blessings of the devotees. Yeah, so in spite of receiving blessings from all these sages and devotees, he was finally killed by Lord Balram. Now, see, it is very interesting. There is a contrast also. On one hand, you receive blessings from devotees and you fall down. Okay, because you got blessings, you cultivated pride, and because of that, you have fallen down. And now, what is the contrast? Blessings of devotees, it can never go in vain. So we'll also see the benefits of those blessings. Yeah, so now Romarshan Sudha, he had studied all the Vedas, was a disciple of Vyasdev, but what was the disqualification? That he was not submissive. In fact, Srila Jiva Goswami, he explains, the reason Romarshan Sudha couldn't appreciate, or he felt that he's superior to Balram, is because he actually could not understand the identity of Balram. And then Jiva Goswami says that this happened because he had no knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavatam clearly establishes Balram as Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because he had no idea of Bhagavatam, that's why he couldn't understand who is Lord Balram. And he thought that he's just a ordinary, some kind of powerful ordinary person. I mean, generally ordinary people can also be powerful. So he felt like that. And that's why he committed this great offense. So even he was given a chance to become Brahmana, but when he offended Lord Balram, he lost that privilege. And that's why now this is also the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam in one sense, because although he had studied all the Vedas, but because he could not understand the essence of the Vedas, which is Srimad Bhagavatam, he could not actually understand the purport of Vedas also. So basically, the Acharya, they also mentioned this point, that if a person does not become meek and humble, all his studies of the Vedas and Puranas and his vast knowledge of the Shastras are simply outward dress. The learning of such person is as good as a valuable jewel decorating the hood of a serpent. So see, this we have to always remember. Even though as devotees also we may have attained a lot of knowledge over a period of time, and we may share knowledge with others, and many other devotees, they might not have the knowledge. Doesn't mean that you have become a superior personality. Doesn't become that you have become a guru or a big devotee. What it just indicates is that the devotees are also trying to serve other devotees by sharing knowledge. But one should never think that they have become superior or great devotees, because advancement does not depend on knowledge. Advancement in spiritual life depends on being submissive to the guru and being meek and humble. So this is a very important lesson that we have to always remember. Now, see, what happened is, I will also share the contrast. So blessings of great devotees, it can never go in vain. Okay, it will always continue. It will always have good results at the end. So when so now obviously we know the pastime where Lord Balram, he felt that now it's a time to kill such people, because this is the purpose of my incarnation. I wanted to annihilate all these miscreants and those who are showing off. So Balram took a kusagras and then he just touched Romarshana Sutta, and on the spot he died. So after killing Romarshana Sutta, all the sages, they became very aggrieved and they addressed Lord Balramji. So what they said is that we have actually blessed him for long life, and now what you have done, you have undone that. So what you need to do now is you have to undergo some kind of penances. Okay, so see, the sages, the devotees, they are addressing Lord Balram and they know the position of Balram. So in a very humble way, they are actually suggesting to Lord Balram that he should undergo some kind of atonement so that people can learn from it. Not that Balram actually had to undergo atonement, but they wanted to make Balram undergo an atonement process so that others will not imitate him. Okay, so that's why they suggested that Lord Balram should actually undergo some kind of atonement. Even though they knew that Balram is actually the supreme person, and there are no laws, there are no rules, regulations that can actually, you know, bind Lord Balram. He's beyond all these rules and regulations. So now what happened is Balramji actually agreed. Okay, so Lord Balram also, he took a humble position because the Lord is very dear to the Brahmanas, and for the Lord, the Brahmanas are most dear than his own life. So in order to respect the views of the Brahmanas, Lord Balram agreed to undergo atonement, and because the sages told Balram that we have given long life and now you have undone that. So Balram actually immediately said that if you want, I can bring him back to life. Okay, I will be able to do it. So just order me. And the sages, so Balram took a humble position, and the sages again, they actually told Balram, because you are the supreme personality of Godhead, you have committed a particular act, and that should also not be undone, because you have done that. So we respect that, but now you reconcile these things in such a way that our blessings will also not it will not go in vain. At the same time, your action will also be preserved. So Balram, what he did, so basically, Lord wanted to give him long life, long duration, strength, and control senses, or whatever the sages requested, the Lord wanted to give them. So this basically proved that Balram is actually the supreme personality of Godhead, because who can bring life back? No one can, except the Ishvara, the supreme controller. Okay, and he was also able to immediately counteract whatever he did, but still the sages requested him to keep his actions intact. So now Balram, he immediately suggested that let his son, I will bless his son so that he can actually attain a long life. So that way, because like father, like son, a son is actually a representative of the father. So if I give long duration to his son, it will be the same as giving long duration to his father. So that way, Balram actually reconciled all these things. And at the same time, he also said that I would also like to undergo some kind of atonement. If I mean, I could again do the, I could travel and I could again start the pilgrimage to holy places, and I could purify myself. But the sages said that there are some demons who are disturbing the yajna that we are having here. So you kindly kill the demons, and that will be your penance. So that way, Lord Balram, he actually satisfied the sages. At the same time, he also brought back to life Romarshana Sutta. Now, who is the son of Romarshana Sutta? It is none other than Sutta Goswami, the eminent speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so this is the these are some of the lessons that we can learn from Lord Balram's pastime. And now coming back to the pastime of Minaketana Ramdas. So now you have got an idea why Minaketana Ramdas also commented in the assembly that here is a person who is acting like a Romarshana Sutta. So indirectly taunting Gunarnava Misra. Now, why did Minaketana Ramdas pass a comment like this? Aren't devotees supposed to be tolerant and merciful? Just because Gunarnava Misra did not pay respects to Minaketana Ramdas, does it mean that he has to indirectly curse him or indirectly make him fall down from his position? So the reason is that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains in the Adi Lila that actually Minaketana Ramdas is such a humble devotee of the Lord that for him to offend him was not a big thing. It was not a great thing. I mean, it was like usual. He never took offense of anyone. But because he was a representative of Lord Balram or Lord Nityananda, and he somehow understood the the mind of Gunarnava Misra. And he felt that he's showing faith in Lord Chaitanya, but he has no faith in Lord Nityananda. So that made him angry. And because of that, he immediately knew that actually he's not disrespecting me, he's disrespecting Lord Nityananda because he has no faith in Nityananda. And if he had faith in Nityananda, he would have seen Nityananda in me and he would have offered obeisances to me. But he didn't offer obeisances to me because he knew that I am disciple of Nityananda, and and because he has no faith in Nityananda, that's why he did not pay obeisances to me. So indirectly, it was an offense to Lord Nityananda. That's why he got angry, and that's why he actually commented like this. So after saying this, Minaketana Ramdas, he danced and then he sang to his heart's content, and then he left that place. Okay, so Gunarnava Misra had faith in Gauranga, but dim glimmer in Lord Nityananda. So dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. And then at the end of festival, Minaketana Ramdas went away offering blessings to everyone. And at that time, he had some controversy with Gunarnava Misra. So yeah, so basically he blessed all the devotees except Gunarnava Misra, and he had some kind of controversy and some kind of conversation with him, where he expressed his dissatisfaction. So Minaketana Ramdas was actually angry due to his lack of faith in Nityananda. And because of this, now see, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he already knew, he was aware that Nityananda Prabhu is actually not different from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are equal. In fact, whoever discriminates between them is an offender. He knew all these things. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he actually chastised Gunarnava Misra, his brother. Okay, he rebuked him for that. And he also told him that because you have this less faith or no faith in Nityananda Prabhu, you will fall down. And he also told him that your logic is like half an logic, where we know that how, a butcher, he wants the head of the hen, but not the entire body because he has to maintain it. So he told him that because of this offense, you will fall down. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that it's better to be an atheist rather than to slight or to slight both of them instead of showing faith in one and disregarding the other. So now in anger, Minaketana Ramdas broke his flute and then he left from that place. And just after that, Gunarnava Misra had fallen down from his position. So now what was the result of chastising his brother? Minaketana Ramdas, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, because he chastised his brother. So what happened is Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared to him in a dream. And in the dream, Nityananda Prabhu was very happy with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he blessed him by giving, showing him his transcendental body, his opulences, and then also instructing him to go to Vrindavan. So that way he blessed Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does mention this point that because I chastised my brother, that's why Nityananda Prabhu actually gave this mercy to me. So now one very important principle and lesson from this pastime is, obviously we can draw the parallels and analogy from the pastime of Lord Balram and Romarshan Sutta. What lessons we can learn from there. We have already discussed that we should not have pride. And another important lesson is that we should have equal faith in Nityananda and Chaitanya. Should not have less faith in either of them. So as Kaviraj Goswami says that either you become an atheist, you slide both of them, else you show, if you want to be safe enough, then you have to respect both of them equally. You have to have faith in both of them. So so all these pastimes are simply wonderful, and in one sense it is also portraying the principle of Guru Tattva, that how Nityananda Prabhu is actually the original Guru, and if you do not respect the Guru, then obviously you can never attain the Lord also, right? So we know that Nityananda Prabhu himself is actually the representative of Guru Tattva. Obviously, Balram is there, Radharani is there, Nityananda is there. And then we know that the Guru or the devotees, because they are all representatives of Nityananda, that's why they are also like Guru to us. And Guru is a representative of Nityananda. That's why when we disrespect a devotee or exalted Vaishnava, then we are also disrespecting Lord Nityananda. Okay, so these are some of the lessons that we are learning here. And now, one most important lesson we can learn from this pastime is that whenever we are dealing with devotees, or when we are dealing with, and especially when we are in the association of devotees as well as non-devotees, so we have to be careful that we defend our devotee friends also. And or whenever we are in devotee circle also, then we have to always consider the higher principles, and we have to accordingly defend our devotee friends, devotees, seniors, or or devotees as such. So from here we learn that how Gunarnava Misra was chastised by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, although they had a brother relationship, familiar relationship, but still Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami actually saw the higher purpose, and he took the side of Minaketana Ramdas. And then there are a couple of other pastimes also. For example, Sachimata offending Advaita Acharya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not give prem to Sachimata, right? Because she has offended Lord Advaita Acharya. And what was the offense? See, there was no grave offense as such. I mean, she just thought in the mind that this Advaita Acharya is actually taking away my sons. Like that, she thought for a moment. Okay. And the result was that Mahaprabhu did not give prem to her. Okay. And Advaita Acharya was like, he was always ecstatic. So later on, Sachimata had to beg forgiveness from Advaita Acharya, and then I mean, she just took the dust off the feet of Advaita Acharya, and somehow she was awarded Krishna Prem. And similarly, we know of, there are some pastimes where, like for example, in Shiva Sangan also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing with his devotees, and then suddenly an outsider comes. And who is that outsider? He's actually she's the mother-in-law of Srivas Thakur. Because of an outsider present in the Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu, he was not able to feel ecstatic love. So he immediately stopped the Sankirtan, and then he started calling out to devotees, and he asked them that why I am not feeling ecstatic today. There is someone who is actually not a pure devotee who has entered our assembly. So then immediately Srivas Thakur somehow saw his mother-in-law, and then Srivas Thakur, when he saw her, he immediately dragged her out by her hair and threw her away from that assembly. So here also we can understand that the higher principle is devotees, bhakti, and whoever is interfering with that, so we have to defend with the higher purpose. We have to stay always with the higher purpose. So we have to defend that. It's not that if we keep quiet and if we do not defend, if we are neutral, or we take side of a person who is not a devotee, who is not following higher dharma, then we also participate in that offense. So we have to be very careful. And then obviously there are certain etiquettes where we have to see, like for example, if like Prabhupada says, and the acharyas also say, and whenever someone insults you, then you have to tolerate it. But if someone insults your Gurujan or Vaishnavas, other Vaishnavas, great Vaishnavas, then we have to also try to react. We have to, there are different techniques of stopping the person from, blaspheming of devotees. So we have to use one of the techniques in order to stop that. But if we remain neutral, or if we take the side of such people, then we also are involved in the offenses indirectly. Yeah, so there are so many examples like that. Especially Shivananda Sen. Nityananda Prabhu, he kicked Shivananda Sen on the chest just because he was delayed for some time. He could not properly give accommodation to Nityananda Prabhu and his associates when they were traveling from Navdeep to Jagannath Puri. So Shivananda Sen, being a Grihastha, he was actually responsible, and his main service was to actually provide and maintain all the devotees who are traveling from Navdeep to Jagannath Puri, to take care of them. But Shivananda Sen, somehow he actually, because of certain things, he got delayed. And Nityananda Prabhu got very angry with him. So he kicked on his chest and he told him that let all of your sons die. So his wife was actually bewildered for some time, and he expressed that to Shivananda Sen. But Shivananda Sen said that, you fool, you don't understand. You have got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Let all of my family members die. I don't care about it. But Nityananda Prabhu's, blessings should pass by. So this is very important. And then there is another example how in the house of Shiva Sangan, in Shiva Thakur, Mahaprabhu was having Sankirtan, and suddenly one of his sons, he passed away. And then, but Mahaprabhu, Shiva Thakur, so the other ladies in the house, they started crying, and Shiva Thakur was very concerned about it. He was quite angry also, because he thought that let all of my family members pass away, but I don't want Mahaprabhu to be disturbed by this crying. So if you cry now, then I will commit suicide and I will give up my life. Like that he said. So that way also, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, obviously because he's all knowing, he suddenly stopped the Sankirtan, and then he felt that something has happened. So then he went and then he saw that his son had passed away. And then he asked Shiva Thakur that why your son has passed away. Sorry, like why you did not tell me that your son passed away? It's such a grave incident. And then Shiva Thakur said that how can I disturb you in your Sankirtan? So that way, devotees, obviously these are examples of Nityasiddhas and pure devotees. We cannot imitate them, but at least we know the principles and we can follow it to a certain extent. And we should follow it to a certain extent. So we should know whom to defend, when to defend, and we should always try to follow the higher principles. It is also advised by Narari Sarkar that even amongst devotees, sometimes we have to discriminate. Like we have to pay more respect to the Uttama Adhikari compared to the Madhyama, and then more respect to Madhyama compared to the Kanishta. And if we offer equal respect, then also we are committing some kind of aparadh, even after knowing that. So obviously to give that respect equally to everyone, it's a safe side, but obviously you cannot treat a Uttama Adhikari like a Madhyama Adhikari. That is common sense. So you have to give appropriate respect to the devotee's caliber. The more advanced the devotee, the more respect you have to offer to that devotee. And then it's also etiquette that we should not discriminate between the Diksha and the Siksha Guru, because they are also identical. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami makes it very clear in Chaitanya Charitamrita that they are identical manifestations of the Supreme Lord. So generally the tendency is that we tend to give more respect, honor the Diksha Guru. And that, I think, that is also because of his stature, in the sense that, just because he's a sannyasi, people do discriminate between a sannyasi and a grihastha. And because of that, they think that the sannyasi devotee is much advanced than a grihastha devotee. Generally, it may be true, but it's not necessary that the grihastha devotee may be less advanced. In any case, Narari Sarkar very clearly says that we have to give respect equally. To the Diksha and Siksha Guru, we should not discriminate. This is also stated by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So to the degree you have your Siksha Gurus, how much help you have received from them, how much time they are giving to you, how much help they have provided, that would kind of equalize your, the way you will respect your Diksha and Siksha Guru. So that generally the norm is that you tend to respect your Diksha Guru more, especially the sannyasi. But we should also take into consideration our Siksha Gurus who have guided us for many years over a period of time, and who has given us a lot of time and help. So even though they may be less advanced, but because of their help, because of their commitment, their compassion, we have to give them that kind of respect also. So this we have to remember. So this particular pastime is actually addressing all these things at one go. So, basically Nityanand Prabhu, and there's a difference between Nityanand Prabhu and Minaketana Ramdas. Nityanand Prabhu is the Supreme Lord, and Minaketana Ramdas is one of his servants. He's in the category of Jeev Tattva or Shakti Tattva. But still, the matter of the fact is that when you are representing the Lord, then you become equal to the Lord. So you have to give respect like that. Okay, that's why it is said that the Guru is actually the representative of Lord, and the same respect and honor you have to give to the Guru as much you show to the Lord. So in that sense also, we have to always consider. Now, sometimes we are definitely we are trying to give more respect to the Lord. And sometimes, we think that the Guru is ordinary because we become very familiar, whoever it is, Diksha or the Siksha Guru, because he speaks to us, he sometimes meets us, he will embrace us. So we may forget, that he is actually the representative of the Supreme Lord. That's why some kind of reverence has to be preserved. And one can get very intimate with the Guru, but at the same time, there has to be some reverence also. Some distance has to be there. Otherwise, one may commit offenses also. It's very easy to commit offenses to a great devotee if we are not in the same mood. So Prabhupada said that, you can associate with fire if you are like fire. Otherwise, it can burn you. So these are some of the lessons. Yeah. I think that I've covered all the points. Yeah, so, okay, all right. Devotees, if they have any comments or questions.
No, no, not right now.
Yeah, so have you heard this pastime earlier? Or this is a fresh pastime for you?
No, I have heard. I didn't remember the character's name actually. Gunarnava Misra. Minaketana Ramdas's episode I remember, but I did not remember the other character. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami's brother is involved, I know, but that name I did not. So when you began, then I remember, okay, I have heard this. But it was helpful to know the lessons that we got to derive from this episode.
Yeah, and see, one more thing. I think I forgot to mention about the blessings, how the blessings of great devotees, they never go in vain, right? So here we can see, because of those blessings only, Balram was willing to undo the action. He was willing to counteract the action that he did. Okay. If he had no blessings of the devotees or the sages, obviously it was just an ordinary incident where Balram would have killed someone and then he would have left. But because he had the blessings of all these great sages, so his son got benedicted because of that. Right? And then even in Krishna's pastime, we'll see. See, now the question is that, okay, now let me ask a question. When you commit, if you commit offenses, okay, then what is the remedy? Can another devotee help you, or only the devotee whom you have committed offense can help you?
Yeah, if an offense is committed and if a devotee has witnessed it, another devotee, or we discuss about this with another devotee, we may get some counsel from them, how to deal with the situation, like go and like sincerely apologize to the person, to the devotee you have committed an offense. So in that way, yeah, another devotee can help, but not to the extent of like Lord Balram. He's God, that like he's willing to revive the person who has been killed. Not to that extent, but yeah, with counsel they can.
Yeah, so actually, see, even if you commit offenses in the part of bhakti to a devotee, but and if that devotee does not forgive you, I mean, it's a very awkward situation, very abnormal situation in Vaishnav dealings, that a devotee does not forgive you in spite of your sincere repentance and seeking forgiveness from the devotee, and in spite of also rendering some service. So obviously there are categories and stages. If you first you repent in your heart, okay, and you may not express to the devotee, that's first stage. Second stage is that you repent and you express your forgiveness, you beg for forgiveness to that devotee. And then in spite of that, if he's still not, I mean, it's a grave offense and he is not able to, he may want to forgive you, but somehow it is so grave that he's not able to come out of it. He's not able to, in the heart there is some sort of lingering going on. Then you may also be able to render service to that devotee. That's the higher level of seeking forgiveness from the devotee, is that you ultimately you render service and you please that devotee, you satisfy that devotee by rendering that service, and then finally he has to forgive you. That should be the ideal stage. But even after doing these three things, if he does not forgive you, that means the devotee is also lacking some Vaishnava quality, because Vaishnavas are forgiving, they are merciful. So, and first of all, it is mentioned that Vaishnavas never take any offenses to them. That's the ideal platform of Vaishnava. I guess that maybe Madhyamas and Kanishtas, they may take offenses seriously, or at least if they do not take it as an offense, but still they may have some kind of lingering in the heart. So they may expect, that the person comes and offers some kind of apology. And even if, so like now, see, it's quite hard to, say, because Prabhupada was Uttamadhikari, and when he was preaching, he came down to Madhyama platform. So you will see that in Prabhupada's dealings also with his God brothers or outside people, Prabhupada chastised, criticized. He was also expecting that people come and apologize him, come and cooperate with him. Prabhupada was showing all these symptoms. He was expressing all these things. So we will feel that Prabhupada also acted like an ordinary person, but these certain things are not ordinary. I mean, these are all emotions, and emotions are connected to personalities. We are all persons finally, right? So obviously you cannot take away all these emotions just because you are transcendental. Just because in the name of transcendentalness, we cannot remove all these emotions. They are always going to be there. But how long you keep it in yourself, and whether you are able to go beyond that, that's the sign of transcendence. So for example, another example is that of Arjuna, who is grieving for his dead son Abhimanyu. So even after hearing the entire Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, Arjuna is still actually crying over the body of his son Abhimanyu, right? And then Acharyas explain that, so that kind of affection is on a transcendental platform, which is basically between devotees. So it's not a material affection, it's a spiritual emotion, and that will always be there. So the idea is that a Vaishnava is not necessarily taking an aparad, but they may have certain expectations from people because they may think that others are able to understand the situation and others are matured enough to act in a Vaishnava way. So when they do not act like that, they get disappointed. So that way they are thinking that, okay, the person comes and he realizes that. So anyways, but yeah, so these are the ways you can actually please a Vaishnava if you have offended. And in spite of these things, you are not, he's still not pleased with you. Then what you can do is basically you can repent in your heart and chant the holy name, take shelter of the holy name. And then Vaishnavas can forgive. I mean, the Lord will forgive, and the Lord will actually rectify the situation. Another thing is that the Lord will definitely take things into control. And, there are Vaishnavas who can interfere. If you have committed offenses, then there are other Vaishnavas who can actually interfere and who can nullify the reaction of that offenses. provided that you are repentant about offending the other devotees. Okay, like now, so what is the proof from scriptures? So one typical example and pastime is actually the pastime of Kalia. So you see that Kalia actually offended all the Vrajvasis because he he had poisoned the entire lake, Yamuna lake, and then whoever came to drink the Yamuna's water, they were killed instantly. Because now these all living entities who are residing in that particular region, they were all devotees, they were Vrajvasis. So obviously Kalia had offended all the Vrajvasis, he had offended many people. But in spite of the fact that he offended so many people, he was saved at the end. And who saved Kalia? Kalia's wife, right? So basically, great devotees, pure devotees, they can interfere. They can interfere, and by their blessings and prayers, the Lord can actually destroy or nullify the reaction to the aparats caused to the other devotees also. This is possible. So now, we have such kind of examples in our scriptures where great devotees are interfering, and because of their interference, the Lord is actually showing compassion to them. Okay, so so devotees, they can interfere, and that's why we should always have shelter of advanced devotees who can protect us. But one thing we have to notice, that Kalia had he actually repented for his offenses. Okay, so repentance has to be there, obviously, because a devotee, you cannot be a devotee if you offend people and you still continue your offensive mentality. Okay, even though other senior Vaishnavas can interfere, they can pray and beg from your behalf to the Lord. But unless you undergo repentance, it's not possible that you will be forgiven. So here also, in the same situation, Kalia was repenting. The Lord gave him mercy only when he started repenting. Okay. So this is the thing.
Indra.
Yeah, Indra, obviously we know how actually Mother Surbi. So it was actually recommended by Brahma that he should first Surbi should pray on behalf of Indra. So that's how actually the Lord was kind of pacified with Indra. I mean, it is mentioned one time, His Holiness Radha Maharaj, he mentioned that Surbi is actually the representative of all the Vrajvasis. And because Indra offended all the Vrajvasis, and because Surbi is the representative of all the Vrajvasis, and Surbi is praying to the Lord on the behalf of Indra, that's why the Lord actually kind of forgive Indra. Actually, now again, the Acharyas, what they say is, you see such an interesting concept here, that Indra committed the offense. He wanted to destroy Vraj, he wanted to destroy Krishna, he wanted to destroy all the Vrajvasis. Surbi begged on behalf of Indra. She prayed to the Lord. The Lord forgave Indra. But did the Lord give pure devotional service to Indra? No. Why? See, and how you can understand this? Because after a few moments, according to Indra's time, Krishna and Indra, they had a war. Because Krishna wanted to take away the Parijat tree from heavenly planets and bring it to Dwarka on the request of Satyabhama. So just few minutes later, Indra had a war with Krishna. And that's how we can understand that Indra, actually, he prayed to the Lord. This is what the Acharyas, they say. He prayed to the Lord not to become a pure devotee. He didn't want to give up that mentality of enjoying the material world. He wanted to maintain his attachment and enjoying tendency to the material world. So that's why the Lord did not bestow pure devotional service to Indra, and he did not destroy the ego of Indra as he destroyed the ego of Kalia. So Kalia was very fortunate compared to Indra, because Kalia was constantly he was, on his head, he had the marks of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constant, the Lord was dancing constantly on the hoods of Kalia. So each and every hood of Kalia, they had the, marks of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that way he was, see, that's why even the wives of Kalia, they are also saying this to the Lord. They are conveying to the Lord that he's so fortunate, even like who has the marks of the feet of the Lord? No one has that. So he's so fortunate that you have given such a special mercy to him. And that way, Kalia was actually more fortunate than Indra, because Indra, now why did the Lord did not bestow devotional service to Indra? Because that was his desire. Indra did not, he wanted to continue his material enjoyment. He didn't want to give it up. So that's why the Lord only forgave Indra for his offenses, but he did not award him pure devotional service. And that's why Indra always continued to act unfavorably later on. In many occasions, he went against the Lord also. So you see, the entire, we can clearly understand from the pastimes of the devotees that ultimately the Lord reciprocates according to the desires of the people, the desires of the devotees. So you can be a pure devotee, you can be a mixed devotee, you can be a non-devotee, you can be anything in the material world. Depending on your desire, the Lord will reciprocate. So because Indra did not want pure devotional service, the Lord did not give him pure devotional service. He just forgave. So you may commit offense, you may beg forgiveness, or you may ask a Vrajvasi to convey prayers on your behalf. The Lord will listen to that. So another devotee can also interfere in those, to save you, to protect you from the reaction to the offenses. But can they, is it that you will get pure devotional service after the interference of a pure devotee? Not necessary. It depends on your desire. It depends on your receptivity. That's why devotional service is basically, the entire devotional service is like Damodar Lila. You must have two sides to the coin. One is your desire and one is Krishna's mercy. Now, obviously, it's a very rare scenario where a pure devotee or Krishna himself, they will actually bestow pure devotional service without any desire. That becomes a very rare circumstance. So a person may not execute any sadhana and directly come to the state of prema by the special mercy of a devotee or the Lord. But these are very rare circumstances. And even if the Lord does that, it's not necessary the devotee will attain higher stages of devotion, right? So, like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awarded prem to the animals of Jharkhand forest. But what was the destination of these animals? What I've heard is that they attained Shantaras in the spiritual world. So, did they attain Gopi Bhav? Probably not. Did they attain Vatsala Bhav? Probably not. Did they attain Dasya Bhav? Probably not. So that's why as you surrender, I reward you accordingly. This is a principle. You consider the example of Putna also. Putna, now so many times, we speak about the example of Putna, how Putna was actually benedicted by the Lord, how she was given the highest, the greatest type of mercy by sending her directly to Goloka. But Rupa Goswami, quoting Brahmananda Puran, he very clearly states that Putna actually attained Brahmananda bliss in the spiritual world. So although she attained the position of a maid servant, but her bliss, level of bliss, is like that of merging in Brahman. Why? Because she had intention of killing Krishna. So if you have intention of killing the Lord, then you attain the same stage which the demons attain, or the Mayavadis attain, which is basically you merge in Brahman. Right? So Putna's condition is not even equal to that of the cows in Vrindavan. The cows have some kind of advanced stages of prem, or they are not completely in Shantaras. They have some kind of active active devotional service also, not passive. Shantaras, generally devotees are passive, but they have active devotional service also to some degree. But Putna was in Brahmananda bliss. She was satisfied just by looking Yashoda Maya, feeding the Lord and serving the Lord. So she's like satisfied looking at that. So Brahmananda bliss. Yeah, so devotees can interfere. They can protect you, they can save you from the offenses. But then obviously one has to practice. One has to fly their own plane at the end. One cannot be dependent on the special mercy of devotees and the Lord. One has to put effort. Now the effort is put because the Lord wants you to give the credit for that. Because free will is very important. If you do something by free will, then that actually enhances the relationship. But if you do certain things forcefully or something which is just given to you like that, then there is not much enjoyment in that. So basically, when the Lord is seeing that the devotees are struggling, they are putting efforts, it is like you want to play with children. Children are so much fun. Sometimes you want to chastise them, sometimes you want to tease them, sometimes you want to see them struggle. Although you don't want them to suffer, but you have a lot of fun in that. Okay. But if a child is very submissive, very pleasing, like there is no dynamic in that relationship. It is like, okay, I just the child becomes my follower, that's it. And the child just does what I do or what I want. Then there is not much fun in that relationship. But here, when the Lord sees that the devotees are struggling, they are using their free will, a lot of fun in that, and that pleases the Lord most. So even by becoming a sadhana siddh, we may think that sadhana siddh is actually like one of the conditioned state. But sadhana siddh is also a very fortunate position that we have instead of being a kripa siddh. Now obviously we are kripa siddh. To majority extent we are kripa siddh because we have got the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that way, but still we are doing sadhana. It's not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Prabhupada said, don't do anything and I will take care of you. It's not like that. We are doing sadhana because, and they have given instructions to us to which particular sadhana we have to do, right? So that way we are sadhana siddh because we are doing sadhana. At the same time, that sadhana is meant to attract the mercy of our Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavacharyas. So that sadhana is actually very, that gives the Lord a lot of bliss. It gives the Lord a lot of satisfaction also. So we should be very fortunate to think that we are sadhana siddhas, and the Lord will reciprocate accordingly also. Yeah. Yeah. So these are some of the important points that I wanted to share. If devotees, they have any other questions or comments. Yeah. Alisha Mataji, you have any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, no, I'm just listening attentively.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I've heard some say that it's only by kripa. What qualification do we have? No matter how much sadhana we do, we'll always fall short. So that, I don't know. I mean, what is it? It's both ways, right?
As I said, majority it is kripa only, because we, like you were saying that we are, what kind of sadhana we are doing? We are not doing anything. This is nothing actually. The austerities, penances, and the type of the quality, the quantity that we are doing is actually nothing compared to what great sages and great saintly personalities they were doing earlier. So in Kali Yuga, what we are doing is actually also very difficult for us at this stage, but still we are doing it. And because we are following the instructions of these great sages, so that's why we are doing sadhana. It is not that they have said that, okay, you sit here and I will just bestow mercy on you and you will go back to Godhead. So it's not like that, right? I mean, so see, kripa siddh means that there, without any sadhana, without any reason, without any cause, without any effort, the Lord bestows mercy on someone. the devotee will bestow mercy on someone. Okay, but here we are asked to follow a sadhana, a particular sadhana, and that's why it's a combination of both. But obviously, majorly it is going to be the mercy of Vaishnavas. And but you know, the thing is that you can get the mercy of Vaishnavas by following a certain sadhana. So without sadhana, you cannot attract the mercy of Vaishnava like that. So that way it is like combined. Yeah. So whatever we have been given, it is already kripa in one sense. I mean, the fact that we are chanting only 16 rounds, the fact that we are following regulative principles. Now, regulative principles are not even actually a part of Anga of Bhakti. It is basically followed so that we follow some dharma. We become a human being, right? We do not act like animal. So it is not even a part of Bhakti. And 16 rounds regulative principle, that's it. Like, do you think it's a sadhana? It's nowhere. You know, like it's a minimum kind of sadhana that we are doing. And then obviously what to speak of hearing and reading and, you know, associating, and so many things are there. 64 limbs of bhakti are there. But the main limbs are basically, according to our capacity, 16 rounds and regulative principles. And obviously, if you get time, then we can do services also like that. But this is the minimum sadhana that Prabhupada has given us. And if we do this sadhana along with Prabhupada's, you know, to try to please Prabhupada, then we can go back to Godhead, which is actually not possible if we remove the mercy of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is the one who actually gave us 16 rounds. Otherwise, it was 64 rounds earlier. I think you are aware of this. So 64, from 64 to 32, and then 32 from that to 16. So minimum is 16, and nothing else. You know, like there is no compulsion of reading, hearing, and association, all that. It's meant to. So if you want to advance, it's kind of mandatory, but it is not like, you know, you have not taken a vow for it. So depending on the sincerity of the devotee, the devotees will actually commit themselves more and more to the path of bhakti. Yeah. So any other question or comment? Okay, so we can stop here. And in the month of March, I think what we have decided currently is 19th of March and 26th of March, tentative dates, which is also Saturday. So I think tentatively it is okay, but if there is a change, then I will also notify. And next month we'll have a lesson from Krishna Lila. We'll take one pastime from Krishna Lila. So like that, we'll do alternate. Gaur Lila, Krishna Lila, and we'll have the talk show also. And if devotees, they want any particular or special topic to be discussed, then we can also include that in between. Okay. So you can, like, if you have any topic in mind, then you can just send it to me, and we can discuss on that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So thank you all the devotees for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.